Yo, and what's up, people? Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize for the quality of my channel lately. I've been quite busy and haven't had much time to make videos because, well, I'm looking for a job and, well, I actually did just get promoted to assistant manager where I work, so that's the sweet thing. This is a video response to Dan Brown on his video about education, and we actually haven't met before. So hi Dan, I'm Mike Marino, and guys, if you haven't seen Dan's video yet, I'll put a link in the description so you could pause this video and watch it, or just watch it at the end of this video. Now, first of all, Dan, I pretty much agree with everything you said in your video. The education system does need massive changes in these changing times. Me personally, I did finish university last year, May 2010. I got my business degree with a concentration in human resources. And I actually have to say, I probably learned a lot more valuable things in the last year than I did in my whole experience at university. Me personally. Now, I'm not saying I didn't learn anything valuable when I went to university or even regret the decision to go. I thought one of the main purposes of university was to learn something so you're more qualified and have an easier time at finding a job after you graduate. But unfortunately, with the job market, at least where I'm living, the demand for jobs is way higher than the supply. In a lot of cases, people with degrees have to work part-time in jobs that kids straight out of high school could get. Most of these jobs being minimum wage. Even manager jobs are just slightly above minimum wage. So as I see it, at least in a lot of cases, people who didn't even go to university are more well off than the people with degrees, because the people with degrees have negative $30,000 in debt, owe the bank, own student loans, and are making pretty much the same money as someone who doesn't have a degree. I don't know, things are bound to change. If I were to give any word to advice to someone, I guess, considering university, what I'd say is be sure of what you want to do. Have a good reason to enroll, because you're spending a lot of money, and if you're not sure, then you might as well work, get job experience and money, and if you really want to learn something, then go to chapters or the library and learn stuff. If you like learning, then you could just read books and you could learn whatever you want. You don't have to get marked on it. There's no pressure. You just learn. And I personally love learning. After university, I learned so much because I had extra time to read whatever I wanted, learn what I wanted, and I feel like I've learned so much more. There's no pressures about tests. I simply learned because I wanted to learn, and I learned what I wanted to learn. And as you said, university isn't all that bad. It's just expensive. But it comes with its good classes and its bad classes. Usually having to do with the professor. Some classes my professors didn't care or didn't seem to care, so their lectures were boring. We just got a bunch of information that we later studied, regurgitated on the test, as you mentioned. But my best classes come from professors who are obviously passionate about what they're talking about. And not only that, passionate about professing or teaching other people. These are the ones that want to do a good job, so they ask for feedback, and not only that, they act on the feedback, so they're continually getting better at what they do. One of my favorite professors did this, and it was a great class. We were just learning about human resources training, but it was a really interesting class. It was easier to learn because when she taught, she was passionate. She promoted classroom interactivity, promoted creativity and innovation. We had to do presentations and projects on our material, which we had to present in front of our class, which we had to do in ways where we would have to think outside the box and come up with our own ways to present this material to the class, which made it a lot easier to learn the material and made the class a lot funner. First of all, I think they need to reconsider the hiring policies of these professors, because if a professor is really knowledgeable in their subject and is boring as staring at a blank wall, then you might as well just sit at home and read a book than go to a lecture. If all they're doing is spitting their knowledge, then might as well just read the PowerPoint presentations in the textbook, because you're probably going to fall asleep in their class anyway. We need to learn in more innovative and creative ways. Think outside the box more, use more lateral thinking. Cognitive thinking and learning is just as important, but with the changing world and the changing technology and business, employers are starting to look for people who can be innovative and more creative. Especially with technology, like take Apple or Google. They are constantly thinking outside of the box and creating new ways to promote their items or come up with newer ideas. And a lot of companies need to do that to stay ahead in the competition. In the old ways of business, if something worked, then you keep doing it. But in this world, everything's changing all the time. So if you want to stay ahead, you have to change with it, or you're lost. And in that stance, a little bit of lateral thinking is kind of necessary. And studies have shown that lateral and creative thinking work better when you're having fun. I mean, if you're doing something like manual labor where you have to pick up rocks, and the person who picks the most rocks gets more money, then, well, likely what you're going to see is more production. If you work harder, then you'll get more money. So people will tend to pick up more rocks, carry it on a stick. But when these same people get these lateral questions or out of the box thinking type of problems, then the more reward equals less of a performance. That's because when you're stressed or under pressure, you're not likely to think as clearly in these out-of-the-box type of scenarios. Out-of-the-box thinking or creative thinking usually comes more when you're relaxed or having fun or just played a game or something. So let's go over this again. I think we need more innovation, creation, fun, and as you said, learning how to learn, learning how to research or use Google effectively, learning how to ask the right questions, the right whys, whos, and hows, and more praise and appreciation on jobs well done, and less criticism on things that are wrong. Sure, criticism helps to show where you may have gone wrong so you improve, but people tend to do a bit better when they are appreciated for what they did good. Positive reinforcement works better than negative reinforcement, and it's a lot more happier, and people have more confidence and are more likely to go a lot farther than when you're shunned for doing something wrong. And this is a lot better than, say, 50 years ago, but I still think this has a long way to go. Anyways, I could think of a lot more I could say on this, but this video is probably really long, so again, it's nice to meet you, Dan, even though I've been watching your videos for like 3 years, but hopefully you watch this, so I'm not just talking to no one. Peace.
Marino videos.